everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After Kids with Doctors Brooke and Lynne. I'm Dr. Brooke.
I'm Dr. Lynne.
Thank you so much for joining us today, ladies.
We are talking about friendships today. It's been such a hot topic in our community. How to make friendships, how to keep friendships, how to feel that connection with other women that are of high quality, that support us and lift us up, right?
Yeah, and I think
we're going to use our example.
Right, and I think in talking about our friendship, the discussion here today is about how do you facilitate friendships that maybe are not close by to you, because a lot of our friends could have moved for whatever reason over the course of time, moved out of your town. They could be friends that you had when you were growing up that don't necessarily live near you, but that doesn't mean you can't really grow that friendship and foster it, right? So if you're in a place where you're feeling like there's nobody in your immediate vicinity that you really connect with, take heart. There are things that you can do.
Yeah, I think
right,
it's a perspective shift. I think that with technology and all of the wonderful things that we have at our fingertips, that when a friend doesn't live close, it doesn't mean that they still can't be somebody that you really get a lot from and that you give a lot to as well.
Absolutely. I think the first step is, at least for us, it's been being intentional about making time for each other, because when you have long distance friendships, it's not as easy as just on a whim saying, let's go grab a cup of coffee, or you want to go grab a glass of wine.
Right.
So
yeah, that face-to-face contact is really precious.
Yes.
And when we get it, we appreciate it so much. But with anything in life, like what you said, being intentional, you can still keep that connection alive. So just make a plan where your energy goes, focus grows, and so the friendship can grow from just writing in your planner, text Brooke this week, or text 3 friends that I haven't spoken to in a month. And yeah, my father was a great example of that. He just would be that constant person to reach out, and it's ingrained in me to do that too. And I think when you do take those steps and you initiate, oftentimes you get that back. You really do.
Yeah, that's a great tip. I was just mentioning to you earlier that I have a really close friend of mine who lived here and moved away, and we promised that we would stay close, and as time goes by, you get involved in different things with your family and your kids and all of that, but I just this year wanted to be more intentional about fostering my friendships that are important to me. So we are literally scheduling time to FaceTime.
Yeah, that's great.
And putting it in the calendar, it seems ridiculous, but a month ahead of time, because if you don't do, at least for me, if you don't do that, it just time gets away from you. So It is important to either make yourself a note to text those people, or if you have somebody that you really care about and you want to touch base with them regularly, schedule some time to block out some time that you're going to sit down, and you can still have your cup of coffee, or if it's in the evening, you have your glass of wine, but sit down and get face to face with them and talk.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really do. And yeah, again, it's just wrapping your head around all of the ways that you can feel connected, not feel alone. That's been something through the past couple of years that we have all felt very acutely at times. Yeah. And now we've got to relearn how to foster these connections and just regrow these friendships.
Yeah. And the other things that you and I have done that I think have been really great, we've had accountability calls where we've done weekly, we hop on the phone and we've read books together. Mm-hmm. We've done online courses together and talked through the discussion piece of them. We've had times where we just okay, let's just hop on, and what were your 3 wins this week?
Yeah.
What were 3 things that you really struggled with, just so we could stay connected and touch base. But when we scheduled that time regularly and we knew we were going to be intentional about, at least for me, that helped tremendously.
It really did. I think that we really grew our friendship
time
because it was regular contact. And I love the reading the book example. If that's not for you, just like you said, just, hey, where are you really killing it right now? Or where are you struggling? And each of you guys can take a turn and help each other out.
Yeah.
You can problem solve.
Yeah, especially if the friend, I'm assuming that, so friendships that are long distance friendships are typically with people that you really connect with on a deeper level, right? Because if it's just, you're not going to
go out of
necessarily
your way to
FaceTime to
put
just
effort
small
into
talk and gossip
chit-chat.
about, so if it's somebody like that, there's where you can, you spend the time to be intentional about going deeper and connecting, and growing together. And that, I think that's one of the things that have kept us so close, because we share a lot of the same core values. We have a history, so there was already that foundation, and we've just navigated and found ways through the course of the years to build that up, which has been so important.
And once again, we mentioned core values, so identifying what's most important to you, what your highest priorities are, help you to know the people that you should invest more time into. That way it's not just a crapshoot. And those people may let you down or disappoint you. At the end of the day, it may not be because the friendship broke down. It just might be a case of values aren't matching up at this season of your life.
Right, and that's okay too. There's seasons for everything.
Takes the person, the hurt out of it.
Yes. And, we've also done a good job. I mean, this has been over 20 years since college started out as a yearly weekend trip together, right? And our fortunately for us, we have a discussion on this too about couples, because our husbands are best friends too. So we've had the whole families involved. But if that's not what that looks like for you, be intentional about a yearly, just a long weekend or a short weekend get together with your favorites. That's important too. You still get that FaceTime. You have something to look forward to. It's a great way to spend time.
Yeah, and I have found that, not with you, Dr. Brooke, but with other friends that I've wanted to spend more of those time with, take those trips, that it's difficult to wrangle women because we always put our families and our children first ahead of our own needs. And so just a little tip here, I found some success with planning a trip around a very tangible or concrete either box to check off, whether it's a physical, like a Spartan race or half marathon, or, I mean, that's extreme, but we've climbed
Could be a hike.
It could be as simple as going to a women's weekend, like a women's conference or something that that all the parties involved are going to be interested in, but there almost needs to be, instead of it just being a
girls
let's go frivolous, let's go to the spa. Now, if you have those kinds of friends, kudos to you. That's amazing, and take advantage of that.
When are we doing a spa weekend, by the way?
I'm in. But, it might be something where it's like, hey guys, this is going to help us grow, and let's go do this, and this is worth taking the time away from our families.
Yes, I love that. And it could be too, I mean, this might not be growing, but if there's a concert or something that you really wanted to see, a venue, example. Like getting away and knowing that you're going to go do that too with each other. And other little piece, we've just started doing this because of the business, but I wish we would have done this sooner. If you don't have the ability maybe to, both of you, like spend the money on the flight or the drive and then the thing that you're going to go do in the hotel room, take turns going to each other's houses. I mean, we're only recently doing this with Life After Kids, but it saves the hotel.
Yep.
It saves one person traveling. It saves the eating if you want to cook in, but you get good quality time with each other, and you get immersed in my family, like you're connecting with my family too, and it's lovely.
It's almost better quality time because, and it doesn't feel so, sometimes trips you can go home from your vacation, you need a vacation from your vacation because it's been a little too much fun, and being in your home and eating regular food and getting good rest, that you can go home and feel not depleted and feel like you really spent some good time with your friend.
Yeah, I feel that way too, and especially now that the kids are older, because I can have you here, like if we had done that when the kids were still, like that wouldn't have been any fun for anyone, because but now you have more freedom in your day. I mean, so yeah. Anything else that you can think of?
I just think it helps you to go beyond the chit chat and get to the layers of what makes your friend tick. Like, I think to have more friends and to be more interesting to people in general, you have to be interested. So you have to ask your friend questions. Yes, we're all struggling and we're concerned with what's going on in our lives, but giving to a friend and putting yourself out there, asking them about them, oftentimes then the favors returned, and
Yes.
it makes you a better friend, and that's where you want to start. You want to start by being a better friend,
I
because
agree.
friendship will come back to you in spades.
Yeah, it starts with you. And the other piece before we wrap for me is connection in this phase of life is everything, and being able to go deep with somebody and really share how you're feeling and
Yeah.
have somebody that really sees you
Yes.
is so important. And that person might not be where you live, like
Yeah.
I said at the start. It might be somebody that you went to school with or to college with, or you have some connection with, and you can. We are evidence that you can foster that and grow that, even
Yeah.
if you're not in the same town. So don't feel sad or bad about if you don't have someone in your immediate vicinity, but just maybe start to think to yourself, like, who else is there that might not be in your area that you can start to be more intentional with.
Yeah, and if you've been burned, if you've had disappointments, if you've been let down, just remember what Dr. Brooke said, is that we really need this in our phase of life. This is a gift that you're giving to yourself by just trying to wipe that slate clean and start
Sure.
over. And people change, they do, and things can get better in an instant. So just take that first step and see where it leads you. It's worth putting yourself out there. It really is.
So good. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation today. We really appreciate you.
Cheers to showing midlife who's boss.
I love that.